I told my mom, Ami, I was invited to speak at a TEDx event. She looked at me and said, what will you speak? You're clueless yourself. But she did sponsor this clothing anyways. And oh boy, as I look at this crowd, this spirited, uh, I don't know what to decide, whether I should inspire you or dramatically faint so we can all go home early. However, I want to take a few steps back. Don't panic, I'm not fainting. I meant mentally. I was 13 when my dad got me my first chronograph watch. It was from Titan. I loved it for 3 reasons. It was my first premium watch. It complemented my wrist. And not even my teachers had something that fancy. Boy, I felt like the CEO of 8th grade. A year later, my dad replaced the leather strap with a steel strap. I hated it. I had to wear it anyway. To my heart's inner satisfaction, one day I lost the watch. I was relieved, but I was also very happy thinking I would get another watch. But my dad didn't think so. He was very furious. And we all know how it goes when our dads get furious. I cried, not because my dad was angry, but because I was not getting another watch. Amid the rolling tears in my teenage voice, I said, I declared, I'll not wear another watch until I buy my own. For the next 13 years, I did not wear a watch. My dad forgot the promise, but I didn't. Because teenagers, they have 2 skills. We hold grudges and we make promises nobody else cares about. Over the years, I never wore a watch. Never, not even once. My dad did buy me a couple of watches, but never did I wear a watch. Years later, when I got my first job, I saw a simple watch in a small shop one afternoon. I bought it. It wasn't Titan, but it was still mine. I still wear it, not because it tells style, but it reminds me of that teenager's resolve. Over the years, I've brought many branded watches, but I wear this watch to every important commitment in my life to remind myself of the promise to my journey that every goal begins with not what you want, but why you want it. And today, that is what I want to talk to you about goal setting. It is not about what you achieve, but what you become along the way. But why set goals? We often think as goals as targets, marks to hit, medals to win, and grades to earn. But goals are not just targets. They're mirrors. They reflect not just our journey, but who we have become along the way. So why still set goals? Goals help us face reality. Goals confront our strengths and our limitations as well. At 13, my goal came from pride. I wanted to show off. But at 26, it came from purpose. I wanted to own it. The difference, you ask, is the distance between illusion and awareness. Secondly, you should set goals because they reveal your values. What you aim for is what you believe in. Goals that align with your values feel lighter even when they are heavy. But goals, when built in comparison, feel harder even when you win. So the next time you have to set a goal, ask yourself, is it coming from the world's noise or your inner heart? Goals call for self-evaluation. The best part of setting goals is not the result, it's the reflection. When you achieve something that truly matters, applause do not matter. The inner peace becomes your validation. So how do we set goals? You all must have heard of SMART goals, but the future is about soulful goals. Goals that you own them, the goals that are self-owned. The world does not own them, but you dictate your own goals. Goals that are attainable, which means that align with your values, your beliefs, and your ethics. Third, how to set goals. You have to set sustainable goals. Goals that do not burn you, but that build you up. As a sports psychologist, as part of my work, I always tell my players, write down 3 goals for the next 3, 6, and 9 months. Most of the times the answer is, but Priyanka, I don't know what I'm having for dinner tonight. You're talking about 3 months, 6 months, and even 9 months. And I say that's the problem because goal is not a routine, it's a decision. So the next time you want to set a goal, ask yourself just 3 questions. Why does this matter to me? What are the obstacles that I might come across? And what are the strengths I need to gather to achieve this goal? Because the goal you set today will shape the person you become tomorrow. Not by what you achieve, but by what you discover along the way. This 600 small watch sits on me even today. It's been 17 years. It just doesn't measure time or growth. It measures my promise to my growth because goals are connected to time and no time is the same. There are 2 types of times, Chronos and Kairos. Chronos is the ticking schedules, ticking seconds and deadlines. Kairos, the right moment when timing meets your opportunity. And so the next time you want to set a goal, do not set it because the world is rushing you, but ask yourself, are you ready? And when I ask you this, I want you to remember, do not give in to the world's noise, but ask yourself, are you ready to set the goal? Because for every powerful goal, there is a moment of Kairos when the world stops rushing and your purpose finally catches up. So if you ever feel behind in life, do not panic because your time will stop for you to arrive at your why. And that day, it's not the world's chaos that matters, but the inner peace that validates your readiness. And I'll leave you with one parting thought. No matter what the night has handed you with, as long as you wake up every morning, you're already a mile closer to your goal. Thank you.